So we continue with the Course in Miracles, text chapter 28, the undoing of fear. And this chapter is the alternative. Now it gives you another way to see it. The alternative to dreams of fear, the illusion, dreams of a body mind, dreams of a world, dreams of suffering, dreams of illness, dreams of fear and death and whatever humans fear and believe. What is a sense of sickness, but a sense of limitation, of a splitting off and a separating from. If you believe you are sick, you believe you are a body, and you do not believe you are the Christ, dreaming this up. Your admission of sickness is your admission, I am special, I am separate, and therefore I can suffer and prove that God is wrong. Because if I can suffer and I can be sick, then God isn't love, light, and healing. If I can die, if I can be sick, if I can suffer, God has no power over me. In actual fact, I prove to God I can destroy what God created. A gap that is perceived between you and your brother and what is now seen as health. What is seen as health when you see yourself as separated? And so the good is seen to be on the outside and evil in you, sickness in you. And thus a sickness separating off the self from good and keeping evil in, suffering in. God is the alternative to the dreams of fear. Who shares in them can never share in him. If you share in fear, if you talk of suffering, you will not know yourself. You will not know God. If you resist what is, if you have grudges, if you have attack thoughts, you cannot be silent, and therefore know yourself, who knows his Father, but who withdraws his mind from sharing them, from sharing their suffering, is sharing God. Don't share your stories of suffering. Don't share your stories of resistance to the world. There is no other choice. I don't care which Course in Miracles teacher said what. I don't care which guru said what. There is no other choice. Either you believe Christ completely, either you completely believe the voice for God completely, or not at all. Either you believe this entire course or not at all. Except you share it, nothing can exist. Share illusions, and they exist for you. They don't exist in reality. Share the truth of the Christ, and the truth of Christ is all that exists, and exists eternally in the eternal now, for it is the truth, and it will remain the truth forever. And you exist only because God shares his will with you, for you are his will. His will was the extension of himself, the creation, the true creation, not the illusory creation of the universe, that his creation might create. So share God's creation, share the love unconditional. It is the sharing of evil dreams of hate, evil dreams of malice, bitterness and death, of sin and suffering and pain and loss that makes the dream appear to be real, and real for the dreamer who thinks he's part of the dream, the activity in the dream. Unshared. There's no secrets. Unshared. No secrets in the mind. Unshared. They are perceived as meaningless. The fear is gone from them because you did not give them support. Don't talk about them. Don't empathize with other people suffering. Don't listen to other thoughts of suffering, words of suffering, stories of suffering, any form of resistance whatsoever. Where fear is gone, their love must come because they are there, because there are but these alternatives. When one appears, the other disappears. When illusions disappear, the truth that I am surfaces. When the I am recedes, the illusions pop up. One is the picture of health, eternally that which is the love of God. The other is a picture of suffering, aloneness, a body, sick, pain, suffering, death. Which one do you choose to be? That's the only one you speak. That's the only one you share. If I ask you how you are, the truthful answer is, I am. In this world that don't understand I am, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm joyous, and become it by your will aligned to God's will. In this world, there's two eyes. You all have two eyes. The little I, ego, and the I am. Which one are you? These eyes do not see. These eyes project what's in the mind, what's in the thoughts. And which one you share becomes the only one you have. Do you share joy and health, or do you share suffering and a world of malice? You have the one that you accept. Accept you are healed, Holy Son of God, because it is the only one you wish to have. Share stories of suffering. That's what you wish to have. You share no evil dreams if you forgive the dreamer, yourself, the dreamer, and perceive that he is not the dream he made. You're not this localization. You are the dreamer. And so you cannot be a part of yours, from which you are both free, for you are the Holy Son of God. Forgiveness separates the dreamer from the evil dream, and thus releases him from believing the dream he dreamt was real. He forgets the dream. Remember, if you share an evil dream, if you share a dream of suffering, you will believe that you are the dream you share. You will believe you are the activity you have shared. You become the suffering. And fearing it or suffering it, you will not want to know your own identity, which is perfect health, perfect silence, perfect bliss, because you think it is fearful to let go of your identity. Because you think, if I let go of this identity, what have I got to look forward to? Nothing. There's nothing forward. What do I have to, can't reminisce about the past? There's no past. How am I going to find pleasure? There's no pleasure. There's bliss beyond pleasure, beyond. You cannot imagine, because the imagination is of ego. You cannot imagine the bliss of God. The greatest pleasure in this world, full body orgasm with ice cream in your mouth, my equivalent, okay? Doesn't come close to the knowing of. How do you know? I was dead for 4 hours. I got to go to the spirit world, which was the first dream, and that was bliss compared to this. Can you imagine returning to the Christ mind beyond the spirit world? Spirit world's still part of the dream. It was amazing. Ooh, floaty, floaty. And then the emptiness comes back. As I've said 1,000 times before, spirits in the spirit world are no different to physical beings, because it's the spirits that project the physicality. They know nothing more in the spirit world than they know here. Your awareness in the spirit world is your awareness here. While you want to be here, you are still in the spirit world. When you want to join with the Christ and forget you've ever existed in the physical form, or even as a spirit form, you return to the Christ mind, which is the only truth there is. So it becomes fearful. Let it go. And if you will deny yourself, your Christ, your true self, your spirit, and walk upon an alien ground, this planet, and all the others that we inhabit in this universe, which your Creator did not make. God did not make this universe. And where you seem to be something you are not, you will make a war upon yourself, upon your spirit, upon your true mind, your Christ mind, which seems to be your enemy. because it asks you to let this illusion go, and will attack your brother as a part of what you hate. There is no compromise. You are yourself, or you are an illusion. How many more times must I say this? You are the Christ, or you're a dream. And what can be between illusions and the truth? A middle ground where you can be a thing that is not you, a body mind, must be a dream and cannot be the truth. You are yourself, or you are an illusion. You are the dreamer, or you are the illusion. And the dreamer is the Christ, and the Christ is the Son of God, and the Son of God is the extension, the eternal extension of God's love. What would you be? The love of God, or a body mind looking for love? When you are the very thing you have searched for. You have conceived a little gap between illusions and the truth to be the place where all your safety lies, and where yourself is safely hidden by what you have made, hidden by this body-mind identity. And then you want to call places holy, and this one's special, and that one's good, and that one's bad, and you want to label things and say forests are beautiful, and oceans are beautiful, and cities are ugly. The whole damn thing is an illusion. There's nothing holier than a city or a holy place. It's all exactly the same. The essence of all of it is the Holy Son of God. Be you that. Be you. Be thyself knowingly. Be here now. Here is a world established that is sick. It's beyond sick. And this, the world, the body's eyes perceive, project. To perceive is to project. Here are the sounds it hears, the voices its ears were made to hear. Yet sights and sounds the body can perceive are meaningless. Sensations, feelings, emotions are meaningless. Don't make yourself special because you think you're an empath. That is the greatest ego downfall. It cannot hear. It does not know what seeing is, what listening is for. It is as little able to perceive as it can judge or understand or know. It cannot know because illusions do not know. And the truth does not perceive. Its eyes are blind. Its ears are deaf. It cannot think. And so it cannot have effects. And what is the effects of thinking? Sense, feelings, sensations. Not real. What is their God created to be sick? Nothing. And what that he created cannot be. Nothing. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. This lion is the exact same said in a slightly different way. Let not your eyes behold the dream. Your ears bear witness to illusions, to stories of suffering. They were made to look upon a world that is not there, to hear voices that can make no sound. Yet there are other sounds and other sights that can be seen and heard and understood. And let's be aware of that. For eyes and ears are senses without sense. And what they see and they hear, they but report. They don't actually hear anything. They're reporting. They're projecting it. It is not they that hear and see, but you who put together every jagged piece, each senseless scrap and shred of evidence, and make a witness to the world you want. You wanted this. You wanted to suffer. You wanted to prove to God you could kill that which God created. And therefore, by killing it, destroying it, hurting it, making it sick, you could usurp God's power. Let not the body's ears and eyes perceive these countless fragments, 8 billion of them on this planet, seen within the gap that you imagine, and let them persuade their maker his imaginings are real. The dreamer is now made Now, it reinforces it by your belief that you are, and you keep feeding the dreaming mind. Tell the dreaming mind that you're awake, and it starts to awaken with you. And that way, the world awakens to the true self. A new world is born. A happy dreamer is emerged, and then the bridge is right there, and God takes the final step. You forget this illusion. Creation proves reality because it shares the function all creation shares. And true creation shares only one function, the extension of God's love. It is not made of little bits of glass, a piece of wood, a thread or two, perhaps all put together to attest its truth. Reality does not depend on your body nor this world. There is no gap that separates the truth from dreams and from illusions. Truth has left no room for them in any place or any time. In actual fact, place and time doesn't exist. So there is no room in place and time. For it fills every place and every time and makes them wholly indivisible. Can't devise that which is joined in God. You who believe there's a little gap between you and your brother, you who believe you can be sick, who suffers, who resists this world, do not see that it is here you are as prisoners in a world perceived to be existing here. Tell your story and you stay trapped. The world you see does not exist because the place where you perceive it is not real outside yourself. The gap is carefully concealed in fog. Fog is forgetfulness. And the misty pictures rise to cover it, body, minds, illusions, people, places, things, and events, with vague, uncertain forms and changing shapes, always changing. Each one of them with a lifespan, each one of them born to die, forever unsubstantial, and forever unsure. Yet in the gap is nothing, and there are no awesome secrets, no darkened tombs where terror rises from the bones of death. There are no secrets in the mind. Anything you speak of that you think you know that no one else knows is illusion. What is given to one is given to all. What one has, all have. Having is being. Being is having. And all we are is the love of God. That's it. We are the love of God. Look at the little gap. Look at the empty space. Be silent. And behold the innocence and the emptiness of sin that you will see within yourself when you have lost the fear of recognizing love, of recognizing yourself as that which is the extension of God's eternal love.